Hey sportsman, John Bergsman here with a quick little tip for you about some offshore trolling techniques for walleye from Dreamweaver that are going to help put a ton more fish in your boat. So a lot of people from Saginaw Bay and Lake Erie, they've gone to using mini spoons as a great way to cover water and catch walleye. So let me show you the basic setup here from Dreamweaver. Now this is basically just converted salmon fishing into the walleye circumstance. So we've got a #1 deep diver. This is a Dreamweaver unibody construction, no funky ring to come loose, so it's going to work great and perform perfectly all the time. My suggestion for walleye fishing is the #1 or the #3 right here. Now, the #1 is a little bit bigger, so it'll give you a little bit better dive depth in that super deep water when you get off into the central and eastern basin. When I'm in the western basin with, let's say, less than 50 feet of water, the #3 works perfectly good. Now, the rigging technique for me is when I'm big fish fishing, I'm going to use a snubber. When I'm not, I'm going to go ahead and clip this snubber off and just attach my rig. Now, here we've got the worm burner rig. Now the worm burner rig, and we're going to talk specifically about this rig as well as the mini spoon today. Mini spoon without the leader trailer and the worm burner. Now when and where? So let's put you in a circumstance. You're fishing along, you're fishing crawler harnesses, let's say, and you notice everybody going faster than you. That's the time to pop the crawler harnesses off and to go ahead and go to a spoon or a worm burner. And the big thing there is that this is going to operate really, really good from 1.5 all the way up to 3.5. This spoon and this crawler trailer are just going to flip and flop and have tremendous action. Now, why would you run a crawler trailer behind a spoon versus just running the mini spoon? Well, the answer to that is super simple. This gives you lots of versatility. Let's say the fish are super color orientated. I can go ahead and take, and this is a quick tip I'm going to show you, which not a lot of people do. I've just taken a regular old KVD Dream Shot. Now notice towards the back it's very slender. And so what I'm going to do is pop it on there, go ahead and take my treble and bury it just naturally right in the last thick part of this Dream Shot. Now I have a very, very cool color profile, and I can change the color of my rig simply by changing out my Dream Shot. Now, what I'll do with this is I'll put some lure lipstick or a scent enhancement, bait mate, whatever your favorite scent is, you go ahead and smear that onto this worm here, this Dream Shot, and it's a great way to add color and big profile to your bait. Now, again, because this is an artificial, you control this at speed. You can go up to 3.5 miles an hour, and all this is going to do is flip and flash and give you a lot. Now, if you're a natural guy and you want a reel crawler, of course, just put a reel crawler on. But as you speed up, know this, that any little bite from a white bass or anything else on a reel crawler is going to probably destroy that crawler and tear it right off. When you go with an artificial, you're going to be able to maintain that bulk and body, and the scent is going to stick super good to this plastic body. Now, we talked about when to fish this and why. Well, the when to switch this out is at 1.5 miles an hour. I'm pretty much going to be going to spoons over crawler harnesses. Now, when the bite is hot, I'm just going to go ahead and pop a spoon on with no trailer, because typically the fish will hit this very readily. Let's say the bite's going at 2.25 miles an hour. You're whacking them on spoons, and I'm going to run them side by side to have the fish tell me what they want. Now, between 1.5 and 2, I'm going to go with a natural crawler. I'm going to go ahead and put real meat on there because the speed is such that the night crawler is going to stay in pretty good shape. When I go faster than 2 is when I'm going to go ahead and put an artificial on. And what you're going to find by running these side by side, this rig side by side with this rig, is that you're giving the fish the opportunity to tell you as the angler whether they want a meat presentation that day or just straight speed, color, and flash. So the Dreamweaver worm burner with the ability to run a crawler side by side with the Dreamweaver mini spoon is going to give you that ability to do 2 different presentations at the same speed and the whole time allowing those fish to speak to you. You know, a couple quick tips before we leave you is there's a few different ways to get them down there. We talked about the deep diver. There's also the offshore tadpole. Now this is a number 1 and a number 2. These are my 2 favorite ways. Now this is basically going to go to your main line. And this is the set position, and of course your leader material with your spoon out behind. This is a super great way to present your bait in shallow water. I like using the tadpole when I'm fishing these spoons from, let's say, the upper 20 feet of the water column. They work awesome, and they're really, really accurate when you use the Precision Trolling app. When I get deeper than 20 foot, that's when I like to start using the diver disc presentation, because I just feel like I'm really solid as well in that deeper depth, that there's not going to be any speed blowout, and that I'm actually not going to be where I'm thinking I'm fishing. All of them you can spread, not the number 1, but of course the tadpoles you're going to spread on the side planer here, the offshore, just a regular old medium-sized offshore board, and it's going to do a great job. So try the mini spoons side by side with the worm burners to see if it doesn't put a lot more fish in your boat. Hey, this is John Bergsma trying to teach you a new presentation or refine that presentation you're already doing for Great Lakes walleye.